I'm Adam from FWCI Collector's Edition, and today on the channel, I'm going to be reviewing Wave 1 of the Jada Toys Street Fighter 2, the Final Chapters action figure set, and I got a lot of stuff to get off my chest about this, and it's all good. Trust me, I'm absolutely blown away by this figure line, so I got a lot of good things to say about it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Help me get to that lofty target of 1,000 subscribers, and if you do subscribe, I promise to do a review of the evil Ryu figure that I've got on pre-order, and every future wave from this line, because I'm just in love with what I'm getting here. Before I do get into the figures, my history with Street Fighter games is minimal. There was a Street Fighter 2 arcade game at my local rec center, which I played a little bit and was never good at. I always had Mortal Kombat games on the Super Nintendo growing up, so we never had a Street Fighter game, and I was not good at it. I never sorted it out, but I knew what it was, and I played it over the years here and there kind of thing. So, in fact, I haven't even seen the Street Fighter movie. I might even do a reaction to that, because I'm really, really loving this wave, but we'll see. So I've got very little knowledge of the Street Fighter characters and the background and everything like that. Since I got these figures, I've downloaded the Street Fighter games on the PS5, and I've been playing a bit of that and trying to have a look at the poses and stuff like that. And buying these figures and falling in love with these figures has made me a fan of the Street Fighter franchise, and it's really given me a reason to be invested in it as an actual fan. So that's how much these figures have influenced me. So let's get into the review. I'm going to kind of do them all three at a time. The articulation will do them separately, but looking at the packaging, this is absolutely crazy. What Jada Toys have done is, first of all, you've got this really great, arcade machine packaging. Not only is that perfectly on brand, it also just looks really good, and they've really gone over the top with adding a lot of detail to the exterior of the packaging as well. It looks great. It is a 9 out of 10 packaging just on its own. Once you open it up, each character comes with their background from the video game, from their level. And not only do they come with a background of it, but the background that Jada Toys have put together and illustrated and inked and designed goes all the way to the ground level, and it's literally set up to be a small diorama. One of the unspoken features of this wave is every single figure comes with a diorama from the Street Fighter 2 video game, and that is something I don't see very often. I really appreciate it, and it just gives a lot more options for how you would display these on a shelf, because you can literally put every single fighter in their home territory, and I just love that they've gone to that level to do that for each character. It just makes a huge difference. So this is one of the rare times where I'm going to give the packaging 10 out of 10, because I just don't see any flaw in it at all. My first impressions of these figures unboxed is that it looks exactly like a Street Fighter video game. They hide the articulation incredibly well, it's all pinless, and it looks exactly like what you want. It's like a video game, jumped out of the screen and jumped into a box, and now you get to do this and make the leg go that way and have all fire effects and stuff like that. It literally looks like the source material. It couldn't be any more perfect. So looking at the accessories, they're actually pretty uniform with the accessories, which I kind of like. I like the fact that you really know what you're going to get with each character. The fact that each character's accessories aren't overly unique, and I'll explain what I mean in a moment, I think is perfectly fine. But each character comes with two heads. One with the mouth closed, one with the mouth open. Perfect choice. That is such a simple decision to make that really gives you all the options that you're going to need. I really can't think of any of these characters where you're going to need something else. Maybe a pain face, but that's going a bit far. I just think it's a great idea to have open mouth, closed mouth. That's what you get. I think it's really versatile. Same goes with the hands. You get some fists, you get some open hands, depending on who the character is. It's all molded very specifically from what they, do in the game. The hands are unique, which, you're getting unique accessories as well, but they're just perfect. They just emulate the game to the perfect degree. And each character comes with a fire effect or an energy effect, a blast effect. We've got the Hadouken that comes with Ryu. We've got Chun-Li doing those kicks, the ones, that one there. I'm still new to it, remember? I don't even know what the kicks are called, but I love it. And Fei Long, I think his penis explodes and turns into fire. Or maybe that's a kick. I don't know. You can see the picture there. What does it look like to you? These are really authentic effect pieces to put in with the figures. You can't really use these for anybody, well I guess you can, but like the Chun-Li one, you wouldn't really be able to use with anybody else. Even the Fei Long one, it's very specifically molded to the shape of, you know, that figure and the way the pants and the shoes are. So in terms of the accessories, I mean, you're pretty well taken care of to have an outrageously dynamic display for a very good price, and these are a great price. Now, I live in Australia. I picked one up from Pop Culture for about $40, $50, somewhere around there. I grabbed another one off Amazon for about $60. So, and these are pretty standard prices across the board. So if you do want these and you do want to start a set, it's really affordable to be able to do that. Evil Ryu was a little bit more, but not by much, I think. So, and I'm very excited to get that figure when it does come. But one of the absolute high points of this figure line is the pricing. So have a look into it. If you have any doubts, just have a look. You'll probably be able to get one for a pretty affordable price. See what you think. Looking at the paintwork, obviously Ryu and Fei Long, pretty simple paintwork, but Chun-Li's is perfect. All the yellow detailing on her outfit, the detailing on the things in her hair, the eyes, the eyebrows, on all the characters is all perfect. I don't think I have one single paint blemish on any of these figures. The quality of these is pretty damn good. So looking at the articulation, I'll go through these individually, starting with Fei Long. He's got butterfly joints. The ab crunch is, it kind of twists and it kind of locks back into place, but you've got a lot of movement in there as well as in the waist. Pinless double jointed everything. The shoes are, you know, these kind of slipper ones, which means the feet are very, very flat. More on that later. Easy. We're getting to you later. The Tarantino Test is coming, don't worry. And everything just really like kind of locks into place and makes it a good figure to stand up. And again, no problems with the articulation on here at all. It's got everything you need, including like, there's like a ball joint on the neck, and then the neck also has articulation in it itself. It's next level, and for the price that you're paying, you're getting an elite level action figure that, you know, you really can't do better with. Ryu is pretty straightforward as well, but because it's a video game character, it does have unusual kind of dimensions. Like, he's a little bit short and stocky. It's not your typical human dimensions, and they've done a great job of putting the articulation in the right spot so that you can still get a lot of movement and a lot of poses out of this character. But he also has butterfly joints and that waist sort of twist, and with his it's not soft goods, but it's a very, very thin rubbery plastic. It hides all the articulation really well. Like I say, that's one thing that Jada Toys seem to do a great job of, is choosing where on the figure the articulation should be, and then, you know, making that a reality. And lastly, with Chun-Li, again, they've done a great job putting the articulation in a place where it is seamless, the way the torso mixes. And I guess they also got lucky just because that is her attire, that's what it looks like. But they've done a great job of putting that articulation right where the colors change and not having any kind of color matching going on. It's just perfectly done. Pinless double jointed everything. Really, really fun to pose, this one is. With the exception of, mine seems to have kind of loose ankles, which is the only downside to any of these. And I don't know, I really should find out from some other people if they have loose ankles on their Chun-Li, or if I just got one that isn't quite right. I'm not above purchasing another Chun-Li if it means I'm going to get better ankles on this. But she still stands up okay because you've got that great articulation in the midsection. All I have to do is lean her back a little bit more, which looks a little bit silly, but it balances her out fine, and the ankle joint can sort of, you know, support the weight. But it's a little bit of a balancing act, and she has fallen down a couple of times, I think probably because of the ankles. So the articulation is of incredibly high level, and even though my Chun-Li ankle is a little bit I don't think that is an indication of what the figure line is usually going to be like. And let me know in the comments, do you have Chun-Li? How's the ankles? Do they fall over? Be interested to hear. So we've got a triple feature of Tarantino tests. If you don't know what that is, what I do on the channel is I take a moment to specifically talk about the feet of an action figure. No, I don't have a foot fetish. Quentin Tarantino has a foot fetish. That's why we call it the Tarantino test. I just think it's really important to look at the feet of an action figure because that's where the stance comes from. That's such an important part of getting, especially dynamic poses and stuff like that. You need good feet. So starting off with Ryu, he's got big flat feet. Oh my, and they're bare feet as well. Quentin Tarantino is just frothing at the mouth right now thinking about this. But that's what you need. You need big flat feet and they stand up absolutely perfectly. So Ryu, you passed the Tarantino test. Let's have a look at Fei Long. Same deal. He's got those flat feet on his like karate slippers or whatever he's wearing. And they always stand up perfectly. There's no problem, especially considering this one has no issue with the articulation in the ankles and stuff like that. Fei Long, Tarantino approves. And what to do with Chun-Li? Chun-Li, you passed the Tarantino test because the feet are actually quite flat and there is a nice peg hole in the bottom as well, so you can use like a McFarlane Toys stand or something like that. I like the McFarlane Toys stands. I've bought McFarlane Toy figures because I was like, well, at least I get a stand. So there are ways around it, and the figure is definitely not flawed in that aspect. I just think I got one that's a little bit loose. So Chun-Li, I'm not going to disrespect you. You passed the Tarantino test as well. Now, I noticed that there are some other Ryu figures out there. There's Evil Ryu that I'm getting, but there's also like a dark Ryu. It's like a grey gi with black belt and black gloves and stuff like that. So you can definitely mix and match the accessories and do head swaps from different figures as more of them will come out. But the heads that you get in with these ones, they're really good. Like the bandana blowing in the wind, like they've really managed to capture a lot of like phonetic energy, it feels like, in these figures, even though it's at a stationary kind of position. And I just can't talk enough about how impressed I am with these. Like I say, I had no interest in Street Fighter at all. I just saw this figure for quite a cheap price, picked it up. I think I got Chun-Li first. And I was just shocked at what I was looking at. I was like, this is amazing. So my final thoughts on these figures. Well done, Jada Toys. Well done. I don't know where you came from. The only thing I know about Jada Toys is they do those, there's this bunch of sets with like a car and then like a little tiny like statuette of like a character that matches the car. I don't know if working with all that die cast has somehow helped you guys really enter the plastic action figure game with a bang. And I think Jada has done some other stuff as well. Don't quote me on that. But this Street Fighter set is next level. If you have the opportunity to buy any of these, even if you see Fei Long on clearance, you know, 12 months from now for 20 bucks, pick it up. I cannot recommend these enough. If you like action figures, you will like these, especially if you're the kind of person that likes to open them up and put them in poses and use the effect pieces and stuff like that. These are just off the chain. I mean, you've been looking at the figure photography over there. I've been having a ball doing figure photography with this, and I don't even really like Street Fighter. I mean, I do now, but for my whole life, I've really not cared for Street Fighter that much at all. I think the only characters that I knew were like Ryu, Ken, and E Honda, and then Pete Holmes did the Street Fighter red tape videos, and suddenly I'm hanging for a Vega action figure. Actually, I should probably mention, yes, the Pete Holmes Street Fighter red tape videos, that's probably the most Street Fighter I've ever been exposed to. So I'm looking forward to getting Dalsim and his Peace Skulls. I'm looking forward to getting Bison and his fully tricked out 2023 Lexus with all the options. And I'm looking forward to getting Vega, who protects his face with his mask and he scratches with his claw. These are the things that make Vega Vega. And I'm completely on board with the Street Fighter Jada Toys set. So let me know in the comments what you thought about this review. Tweet this to Jada Toys if you did enjoy it, because I just want them to know how much I am just blown away by the product that they've delivered with this Street Fighter 2. What's it called? The Final Chapters figure wave. It's everything you could possibly want. And it wasn't anything that I wanted until I got it, and now I'm addicted. So Jada Toys, hats off to you. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I review Marvel Legends on here. I do SH Figure Arts every now and then. I've got a Hot Toys Hydra Stomper coming. It's a long story. a floodgate may have been opened, something may have been awakened, but I got my first hot toy recently, and then I followed it up by buying the Hydra Stomper as well, so check back on me in a couple of weeks and we'll see how we go. If I'm living under a bridge with a whole thing of hot toys, you know, subscribe on here so I can start getting revenue, please. Appreciate you checking this video out, and as always, everyone, be well, stay safe, look after your figs, see you in the next video. Peace!